Hi y'all. I am going to make a new round shawl. This one is going to be a little different. It's going to connect at the neck down to the breastbone. I'm using We Love Yarn, Mega Ball, Aran Weight, which is a heavy 4. And this is color 18, which is a nice kind of, dusty pink. It's 100% acrylic. In total, 765 yards. This is 6.5 millimeter hook. This is an 8. This is an 8. No, 6.5. I kind of like this because at least with this I can make a longer neck. You'll see what I mean because I do a Tunisian collar. So this is a 6.5 millimeter hook. It's a boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this is the height of the collar that's going to go around my neck. It's going to be like a mock turtleneck, very wide crew neck. But this has to fit around your head. So this is going to be the width of the size of a hat brim. So whatever you would normally make for your hat, this is the length that you're going to do. I don't know if you see what I'm doing here is I'm putting my hook into the back bump. So, you pull it up and you hold it. I'll do it again. Make as many chain stitches as you like. And then go into the back bumps. Just turn it over and go into the first back bump right there. Just make a nice loose chain. Since this is Tunisian, it's going to be a little on the tight side. It's going to be a nice tight fabric. You can go up a hook size just for this part if you want. If you don't want it to be too tight. The weave of the fabric, that is, not the collar around your neck tightness. So I hope you got that. I do have other Tunisian videos if you need some more, practice. So I just yarned over and pulled through one time. One yarn. That's it. Through one loop. Just a little chain. Yarn over again and pull through 2. Yarn over again and pull through 2. One of the tricks that I like to impart at this point, if you're a beginner in Tunisian, is pinch this loop. This first loop is so important to pinch because you want your yarn to slide under here. You don't want it to tighten up this loop. You want this loop to stand as tall as you made it the first time. If you don't pinch it, at least for the first 2 passes coming back on the return pass, it will tighten up and your whole piece will skew. This side is always looser and stands up taller no matter how much you tighten it. This side always shrinks and is short, so you end up having this very tight at this end and very loose at this end, and it becomes skewed. So I just want to point out that to help prevent that is every time you do your first return is pinch it so it doesn't shrink. Okay, so we've done the first foundation row and we've done the first return pass. Now we're going to go back through and we're doing the Tunisian knit stitch. That knit stitch looks like this. Do you see the parts, the front leg and the back leg? That's what I call this, of your Tunisian stitch. And this is the return pass across the top. So you want to take your hook and go under that first front leg, but you want to make sure that the back leg is behind your hook. So you're in effect just going right in between these two right here. Okay? You yarn over and you pull up a loop and you just let it stay on your hook. You keep doing that, going between the front and back legs of each stitch under the return pass and pulling up. And that's why I chose, as you can see, I chose the hook that did not have the ergonomic handle because I needed to have it come down. See how that's loose and long? It just does that. I don't know why. It's very frustrating. I tighten it every time, and every time it gets big. Just this first one. These are fine. This one is the loose. So anyway, so you pull it up a little bit, loosen it, and then pinch it. You don't want it to shrink. Yarn over and pull through two. And I hold on to it for a couple of the stitches in the return pass. So like I said, make this your hat band. I'm going 21 inches. Oops, I missed my, there. Gotta make sure you go through the front and the back loop on that stitch. It will curl. That's just the way it is. It doesn't curl quite as much as other stitches in the Tunisian oeuvre. But it does curl a little bit. I think I mentioned that you can use a bigger hook in diameter for your neck. And then move down a hook size. So I'll meet you back after I get about 20 to 21 inches long, because I want to make sure I can fit this over my head easily, but I don't want it to be really loose. I want it to fit around my neck like a mock turtleneck. So I'll meet you back. Okay, so that's the last two. I did, these are like the rows. I did 2 by 2 by 2, multiples of 2. Did not have to do any extra because it's just the way foundation rows work. When you put them together like this, you want to try this against your forehead, the biggest part of your head. Make sure it goes around. This is a very stretchy stitch, so you don't need to make it as wide as you think you do. This is 18 inches relaxed, but it stretches to like 21 and a half, 22 that fits over my head. This is more than enough to stay comfortable on my neck. Well, now that I've finished this part, this is the inside against your neck. It's nice and smooth. And this is the ribbing for the outside. So take the part where you started and go to the end of the row and go under the 2 stitches. This side can be a little loose, so you shouldn't have any trouble getting your hook in there. Now get your loop and just go ahead and pull that through. On your first stitch, you actually can see these stitches. Can you see them? There's 2 bars at the top of every row, just like a regular stitch. I want you to go into the middle of that stitch. Go to the back like that, okay? First, yeah, let's do that. Just pull that loop up. Yarn over and go through those 2. Now you've got 2 legs on this stitch here. It's a single crochet. You go in the middle between those legs. You come out between the 2. Let me see if I can move this out of the way. You see, it's just basically a loop. It's just a loop. Just go between that. Yarn over. And you just pull through that 1 loop. Yarn over and pull through 2. You've just made stacked single crochets. Now yarn over. If you need to learn more about stacked single crochets, I will link below a very short video on how to do them. Here is a double crochet. We're going to go into the same stitch, the same spot. Go right down in the middle and come towards the front. Yarn over, pull through that front bar, then yarn over and pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2. There's your double crochet. It's just like a regular double crochet. I'm just splitting them between the front and the back bars of your stitch. Now if you chose to do a different type of neckband besides this Tunisian one, it should work exactly the same, because the tops of this Tunisian, or I should say the sides of this Tunisian neckband has V stitches at the top, just like a regular neckband in any other type of crochet. So if you don't want a long mock turtleneck ribbing, you could do just, double crochets. You could do a single crochet and do double crochets. You could just do a single crochet. However you wanted to start this shawl, it's up to you. Okay? But once you have that first row of stitches, you need to increase immediately. You double it by putting 2 double crochets in every stitch. Okay? And I'm just splitting the stitch in the middle, going to the back for the first one and going towards me for the second one. Now, you could just put 2 double crochets in, just like this, 1, and then go into the same spot and put another double crochet. But look at the difference. Do you see the difference? These aren't being separated as much as this is. It's just a very subtle difference. You may not like to do it that way, and you're welcome to just put 2 double crochets in each stitch instead of splitting them like this. But you do it the way you want to do it, whatever you think is most comfortable for you, because this channel is called Crochet Your Way today, not my way. But I'm just showing you a way to increase your stitches with less space, less gaps, okay? Because down here at the bottom, they overlap a little bit. They don't spread out the stitches as much because there's only 1 stitch on each bar. So it's just an interesting way to give you an increased row. And you could you could do this for many, many different types of applications. Anytime you need to increase, split your stitch. Sometimes it's maybe easier to do it this way than to put it in again and again in the same space and stretching out that hole. I know that when you're doing, you know, fans or shell stitches, those holes can get pretty big. Try it this way. See if you can put 3 in the back and then 3 in the front. See what happens. See if that doesn't change the way that fan looks. It might make it very interesting. But I'm just doing this so that it increases. And what happens is it actually kind of stands up. You see how it sticks out like? I mean, it's doubled in number of stitches, and so that it sits nice and flat across your shoulders. And you do this all the way around, and I'll meet you back. So I've come around, and I've put a double crochet in the front bar and the back bar of each stitch. Now, one of the things that I want to point out is when you have the stacked single crochets, it does lean quite a bit. So when you first start making them, you might want to use a stitch marker to keep track of where the actual top of the stitch is. It's not here, it's actually here. So we're just going to go through both and just pull through, just like that. And we will use the tail to sew this neck closed. But that is the end of the first row. Now we're just going to go back into this stitch and we're going to do stacked single crochets. Now this is where you would put the stitch marker. I'm sorry if I did that really fast to the point where it was maybe too fast. Let me try that again for you. Okay, so we're at the end. Here's the top of this stacked single crochets. You just do a slip stitch. Then you go back into the same space and you pull up a loop. Yarn over and you pull through 2. Go in the middle of the pants, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2. You've finished your stacked single crochets up to the level of a double crochet. Just do them twice. I'm going to try this stitch marker. Just goes around. You don't necessarily have to take your hook out. I'm just not that familiar with these stitch markers. They're new to me. Okay, so that is the top of your stacked single crochet. Now we're just going to do a front post, double crochet, and then a regular double crochet. Oops. Now we're going to basically further accentuate the front and the back nature of that split stitch. We're going to yarn over and do a front post around the stitch that was on the front side, and then we're going to do a regular double crochet in the back, double crochet. because this one was on the front. As you can see, it's on the side facing you. So that's the one you do the post stitch around. And then the one that's in the back, that's the one you just do a regular double crochet. Okay, so that further accentuates the way they're split. This makes it stick up even more. And you just do that all the way around. If you're having trouble finding the back stitch, go like that. And when you do that, you'll see that there is the top of a stitch that was not stitched into. You didn't use it because you went around the post instead of using the top. So then you could just go into the next stitch, and then you can see how they're being skipped. See, that's the one you used, that's the one you didn't. So that's how you do the next row, row 2. I will meet you back. Okay, we've come around to this side, and we see where the stitch marker is. I did the last front post there. Just do a slip stitch. First, we're going to do our stacked single crochet. You see how you go into that stitch, and then you pull through those 2 loops. You just stack up right on top of it. Now we're just going to do a double crochet in each one. Okay, do that all the way around and I'll meet you back. Okay, so I've come around. This is the end of row 3. The first row was the increase split stitch. The second row was the post, alternating post stitch. And the third row is just plain double crochets. We're going to go into the top. And remember, this thing leans, so don't start crocheting into the bottom of the stitch. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this stitch marker out. Go into the top of that stacked single crochet, slip stitch through, turn your work, do 1 chain, and then yarn over, and you want to do a double crochet front post on every stitch all the way around, just like that. And turning your work allows you to do these as front posts instead of back posts. But that's what you do. And what happens is you get a nice little fancy ridge. So continue to do that all the way around. Oh, and let's put our... Okay. Now it's set. We are at the end of the ridge row. This is the stacked single crochets. So let's go ahead and do that one. It's a little bit bigger than a regular double crochet, but we're still going to do the same thing to it all the way around. Okay, now we're going to go into the top of this stitch and we're going to turn back. Finish our stack single crochets. And let's put the stitch marker around it. And let's just do double crochets. So this row right here would have been my split stitch row, which was the first row. So this is in effect the first row. We've gone from that increase row to just a regular double crochet row. And the reason why we're doing that is we've already got almost a perfect circle. You see, it's a little bit roughly, which means we've got more increase than we need at the moment. So let's just do one row of double crochets instead of doing an increase row. I will meet you back after this row of double crochets. Okay, so I've come around. Make sure that you don't put a extra stitch in where you started from. So let's go ahead and use our stitch marker and do a slip stitch. Let me take it out. I'm still getting used to these stitch markers. They're a lot easier than the other kind I was using though, so I'm happy with them. Okay, so now we're going to do a front post. So right here, remember when we started back here, we did front post. The first one is going to be a stack single crochet. You could do 3 chains if you want. You don't have to do stack single crochets. I prefer them. So now we're going to do front posts alternating with double crochets. Okay, and just remember you can check to see the one which stitch you're supposed to skip and which one you're supposed to they're not as close together because they're not split stitches. Okay, I'm just doing a front post and a regular double crochet. That's all. Let me get this into my top of my stitch. I'll meet you back. Okay, so we're finished with the front and back front post and double crochet, the alternating front posts. We're going to slip stitch. Now we're going to do regular double crochets all the way around. But first we will do our stack single crochet. Just regular double crochets, 1 to 1. Now it might try to ruffle a little bit here, but we're just going to power through. So this whole section we did not do any increases. The next section we will do just like the first. We'll do the split double crochets, then we'll do the alternating front post double crochets, then we'll do a regular double crochet, and then we'll do the ridge row. But for now, we're just going to do everything 1 to 1. After this double crochet row, then we're going to do the ridge row from the other side, from the back side. And then we're going to do this exact first row again here. If this starts to ruffle, and it may start to ruffle a little bit. But we're just going to power through 2 more rows of 1 to 1 stitches. I'll meet you back. Okay, so I've come around to the end of the just plain double crochets. Let's slip stitch, turn our work, let's get this out. We're going to do just a slip stitch, that's it. Okay, and now we're going to take a yarn over, and we're going to go around each double crochet, including that stacked single crochet column we just did. We're doing front post double crochets on the back side. Like that. Okay, and you do that all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the end. Okay, I'm back. We're at the end of the row with the ridge row. Okay, that's the front post double crochets on the reverse side, on the back side, on the inside part of your shawl. Okay. Okay, make sure you don't crochet up into the stacked single crochets. And go back into the stitch that we made in the back and pull up a loop. And yarn over and pull through both loops. Let me do that again, just to make sure that you got it. Finish your slip stitch, turn your work, you go down into the loop that you were just in, right down in the center of it, into that top V. Okay, go to the back, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through 2, split the pants, pull up a loop, then yarn over, pull through 2. So you finish the first split double crochet. So you go back down into that same stitch, go towards the front, towards you, and you make a double crochet. yarn over, go down into the top of the stitch towards the back, and make a double crochet. Yarn over, go into the same stitch towards the front, towards you, and make a double crochet. This is our increase row. Now, if you feel like it's getting too ruffly or it's not laying on your shoulders right, you go ahead and just do double crochets here under the whole stitch instead of splitting the stitch like I'm doing. Okay, so if you want, you can just do a double crochet under both of the bars as normal. Okay, but I'm going to increase, because I want one more increase row before I am satisfied with how it's going to ruffle around in the front and the back. I will meet you back. So the increase row has been completed. I'm going to do the last split double crochets. Okay. Now we're going to slip stitch into the top. And you can see there's a little bit of a ruffle because we've done increases. Okay, so this is the alternating front post double crochet. So this is the back double crochet. We go into the same top and we make stacked single crochets, and then we do a double crochet around the very next stitch, which is the front of the split. Okay, and we do a double crochet into the top of the stitch that's towards the back, and then we do a front post double crochet around the stitch that's on the front. Okay, that's the one that's in the front loop. That's your post. The ones that are in the back loop, that's just a regular double crochet. So keep doing that all the way around and I will meet you back. I just want to show you how I fix a mistake without having to rip it out and do it over again. So if you can see here, I skipped the back loop stitch. I just went straight to the front loop stitch and then went into the next back loop, front loop. This one's back loop, front loop. So I made a mistake. It's the row below. So let's make a treble, yarn over twice, go to the back, pick up that back loop stitch, yarn over, and pull through two. And then here, we're just going to put our hook through this spot right here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me try it again. Yarn over twice. I'm trying to slow down. Go into that row below and yarn over and pull through two. Now what we have here along the ridge that we're working in now, we've got this top of this stitch right here. So let's put the hook in there, okay, and then pull that hook through those two loops, and then through those two. Okay, so then you've got a stitch in the back and a stitch here. It's not the most beautiful stitch in the world, but it fills in where it was missing. And then it gives you that flat stitch. You could do it this way too. Let's try it again. I just want to show you a way that I fix stuff that I make a mistake on, instead of having to go through making a whole new. You see here, it goes through the top of that stitch. So let's go ahead and do that here. But instead of yarning over and pulling through and then yarning over and pulling through two, just basically like a slip stitch, take it through those two. Okay. And then continue on the front post. It's a little bit thicker because you did that slip stitch, but it at least gives you something in the back here to fill in. I hope that helps. I do that often when I make a mistake, rather than putting myself through the whole, you know, I mean, I do frog stuff, but you know, sometimes if it's just one stitch, you can kind of fudge it below and add that in by doing a treble and then working into the stitch as you go up to make it kind of look like what you've got going on here. I hope that helps. I'll see you when we're done this row. Okay, so I've done the alternate front post row, and I've got one more front post to do. Slip stitch. Now we do a double crochet in every stitch. Okay, so we went into this stitch right here. That was your stacked single crochet. That's the top of it. Okay, I will see you back around after just doing double crochets. Okay, welcome back. Put in my last double crochet. Go at the top of the stacked double crochets. Now we have completed the, we're actually going to complete the last row that are connected. Now if you remember last time we did this, we did a slip stitch, or a chain stitch, and then we did a yarn over, and we went around the stacked single crochets as if they were a double crochet. Oh, shoot, I forgot. We're supposed to turn, because we don't want to do back posts. We want to do front posts on the back side. So this will be the last row that will be a connecting row, and then we're going to start going back and forth, because this is the third set, and it lands right about at my breastbone, the third set of repeats. But yeah, we're just going to do front post double crochets all the way around. And the top of this stitch is right here. Right here. I do this one a little differently because I want to be able to have that ridge on here. You're going right into the post stitch on the very first one. And just do post stitches all the way around. This is not an alternating post stitch. This is every single stitch is a post stitch. It gives you that nice architectural ridge. We won't be doing any more increasing unless you want to, but I'm not going to increase anymore. I feel like it is wide enough, and it's got a little bit of a ruffle to it right now, so we want to kind of work on that ruffle and smooth it out by just doing one-to-one stitches. And by also not increasing anymore, this will curve around a little bit on your body, so it won't flare out so much. It won't be crazy ruffles all the way at the bottom. So I will meet you back. Okay, I'm back. We're at the last post. And then we're going to be going back and forth. We're going to go ahead and close this up. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn this. Just go into that stitch and do your stacked single crochets. And now we're just going to do a double crochet in every row. You might need another stitch marker because we're going to have two ends going forward, because this is where it's going to split. So do your double crochets until you get to this point right here, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so we've come to the end here. We've got this one right here. Okay. And we're going to do this one as well. So it's going to come out like that. Okay? Now we're going to do the post stitches. Oh, we're going to have to do back post stitches. Oh well. Because we have to go back and forth now. So the first one is a regular post, regular stitch. So we're just going to do stacked single crochets, or if you do like 3 chains, however you like to start. Okay, so then we have to do a back post. And I'm sorry, I really don't like doing back posts, but it's unavoidable at this point. So I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Let me see if I can move this. So we're looking at this side, yarn over, and then you have to go into the next gap, pull up a loop, and then yarn over 2, and then yarn over 2. Okay, then this one, we just do a regular double crochet. And the next one, we go around it, down in the post, and do that double crochet. I really thought I could be slick and skip that part, but Well, we're gonna have to do back post double crochets, and I'm apologetic about that because I don't like doing them either. See, there you go. Just every other stitch. At least it isn't every stitch. On this side, you get to really see that gap. These are where the post stitches are. Okay, so I will meet you back. And oh, we should probably put another stitch marker here, right here. One way that you can tell your stitches, tops of your stitches, with the stacked single crochets is if you go back, like you can see the V stitches. This is the last one. You might want to, you might think, oh, maybe it's this one, but it's not. It's too far down into the, it's like sideways. This is the side of the stitch. This one. This is the side. And this is the top. Right here. Okay, so now you've got your two stitch markers marking the tops of your stitches. And we're going to do alternating post stitches going all the way around until we get to this one right here. So I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm back. So the last stitch that we have is right here. And it is a post stitch. I'm not sure how it's going to look with the post stitch on the end. I might just fudge it and let it be a regular stitch. But that's the first separation right there. Okay. So the next thing we do is we need to turn our work and do double crochets all the way around. But I'm going to first do stacked single crochets. Okay. And now double crochets. All the way around. Okay, till we get to here. I'll meet you back. Okay, so I've come to the end. I did my double crochet row going into the top of the stacked single crochets. Let's go ahead and take this out. Let's turn our work. And we're going to do the ridge row. So this is where we do a single slip stitch, and then we yarn over go around that post. And we start going around every post, all the way around in double crochet front post stitches from the back side. Okay? And let's not forget to put our stitch marker in there. Remember they lean. The stacked single crochets lean quite a bit, so you got to make sure you put it in the right place. Right there. Okay, I'll meet you back. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row, and I'm going to do the last double crochet front post from the back side, just like that. Turn the work, then we can work on the front side. And let's do our stacked single crochets. We're going to do regular double crochets, not split double crochets. And we're going to go just a row of double crochets all the way around. By not increasing every time we get to this row, we are preventing the ruffle from being too pronounced. One thing I noticed about using thicker fabric is if you are trying to reduce the ruffle, you don't want it. You don't want to put too many increases in on this particular row. The ruffle is really pronounced. So I will meet you back when we get all the way around to here. Okay, I'm back. I'm at the end of the row. These have just been double crochets, and it's very helpful to put your stitch markers in here to make sure that you don't increase your rows or decrease. So let's go ahead and take this out. And again, I have to turn our work here, and we're going to have to do the back loop double crochets, because this is where we create the what I call the dentelle portion of the shawl. So let's go ahead and do our stacked single crochets. And then we do the second stitch as an over, and then the next one is a regular double crochet. So make sure you skip the stitch that you did the post stitch. You go into the next one as a regular double crochet, and then you yarn over the post stitch, and then yarn over, skip the stitch that you did the post stitch in, and then do it in the next stitch. Do the regular double crochet in the next stitch. Keep doing that, and I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm back. Here's the last stitch. We'll just use our stitch marker. Let's make sure that we're putting it in the right spot. There we go. Just gonna do a double crochet, not a single crochet. There we go. Okay. Let's take the stitch marker out while we're doing our work. And now we're just going to do double crochets all the way around. Stack single crochet. And a double crochet in each stitch till we get to the other side. Okay, let's put our stitch marker in. I will meet you back. Okay, so here is the last stitch. It's just double crochets. We're going to turn our work. And this is every single stitch is a post stitch. And how we level up on this one is different than the other stitches. We use just a single chain stitch, and then we yarn over and we go around the whole post. Okay, and then there is the top of the stitch right there. Stitch, and then we'll just go around each one from this side. Front post, double crochets from the back of the work. Okay, so there is the ridge right there. Do that all the way around and I'll meet you back. Okay, so I'm at the end of this row. This is the back post, or front post on the back side of the garment row. Okay. Now we're going to turn our work. Okay, so now we're just going to do double crochets, and we'll start with the stacked single crochet, and then we'll do double crochets across. 1 to 1. We're not going to do any more increased rows. We're only going to do double crochets, back post double crochets, and the alternate back post double crochets. I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm at the end. Finish that last double crochet. Let's turn our work. Single crochets. And then we're going to do back post double crochets, alternating with double crochets in the top of the work. Okay, remember, make sure you skip the double crochet that you did the post in. And it looks like it's like twisted way over. Sometimes I feel like the post stitches really twist to the side, and so you've got like gaps. But once you put that double crochet in, it pulls it back, and they do settle. See, that looks like a big gap, but this post will settle in and fill in over that hole. So keep doing that and I'll meet you back. Okay, we're coming around to the end. We've done the back posts. Looks like the last one we have is another back post. Just go around it. Let's turn our work. We're going to do double crochets. So we start off with either 3 chains, if you prefer, but I like my stacked single crochets. Okay. And it's just double crochets for this entire row. We are very close to being finished because you know what comes next after this is the back post row that creates that ridge. Well, it's a front post row on the back side. Okay, so we do double crochets all the way around and I'll meet you back at the end of the double crochet row. Let's turn our work and we're going to do front post double crochets all the way around on the back side of the work. This is how we start. We do a single crochet, yarn over, and go around the first post, which is the last double crochet. Okay? Just keep doing a double crochet, post, stitch. Keep doing that all the way around. Okay, so I have used the entire ball except for just a couple of, I don't know, maybe a couple of feet. So what we've used so far is $765 yards, probably 760 yards. So now I'm going to pick up this color. It's an off-white, Karen Simply Soft. It's also another 4-weight. It's a little bit lighter than this. This Mega Ball from Hobie. It's not quite what you would classify as a normal 4-weight. It's a little more, I don't know, robust. It's a little thicker. Back into the last 2 loops. A little slip knot on there. Okay, so now we've got slip stitch just to anchor it. So turn our work. This is the ridge stitch, which means we do post double crochets. These are front post double crochets from the back side. Now you may or may not need to switch yarn colors. but this is the I think this is the last row of our pattern, and then we'll do the edging. So really, I think this is a good way to end on the colors, because look at that. Isn't that, I like that. So do this all the way around. So what do you think? Do you like that? Starts a little stripe there on our edging. I will meet you back. Okay, so we're at the end, and we're going to do our last front post double crochet on the back side of the work. We're going to turn. Now, it's possible that you just want to end this with single crochet edge, or maybe a just leave it like this if you do a contrast like that, or you want to do some other type of edging, you're welcome to. I'm going to do something that kind of looks like a wagon wheel with picots on the spokes. Okay, let's do a chain, a double crochet. We skip 1, 2 into the third chain. So that's right there. That's the one. That's where we were. We did our chain, and then we did 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do 2 chains. We're going to go into the legs of that stitch. It's basically the top of the double crochet and the side of the double crochet. And we're just going to do a slip stitch. Then we do a chain, and then a double crochet in the same space. Then we do 2 chains back into the legs, and then a single crochet. Double crochet back into the same space. We do a 2 chain picot, slip stitch, chain 1. See that? We've got 3 spokes with wheels, 3 picots, and they're small picots, they're only 2 chain picots. Then we go 1, 2, 3. In the third, you just put a single crochet. Then we do a chain 1, double crochet, 1, 2, 3 into the third chain, 2 chain picot, chain 1, double crochet in the same place, 2 chain picot, chain 1, double crochet, 2 chain picot, when you're doing the picot, especially at the end, make sure that the yarn doesn't go around the back behind those 2 chains. Make sure it comes around the front, because if it goes around the back, it just chokes the picot and it doesn't look right. Chain 1, and 1, 2, 3. We're going to do a single crochet, 1, 2, 3. That ends off your wagon wheel. or half a wagon wheel. That's what it reminds me of because of the spaces. Okay. So you keep doing that all the way across. I'll meet you back. Okay, I have finished the lace that goes around the bottom. And I've added a little extra frippery right here. You see, it's just two chains and then a picot on top of the third chain. That's all it is. And I'm just going around. I'll show you how I did it. Just to add a little interest, because this is quite a stark color change down at the bottom. So you see this how it goes around here. So I'm going under the post and around the post like that. Just got myself a slip knot. Just going around, trying to get the tail out of the way. Just do yourself a little slip stitch. Okay? See, and it's going around it. Just move that out of the way. Just go around it again. Underneath the whole stitch. Like that. See that? It's doing the same thing as we did here. And we can do a 2-chain picot right into that single stitch right there, single crochet. And go around again. 1, 2, and then the third one we can do another picot. Just do a 2-chain picot like we do at the bottom. This adds a little bit of color and it gives you the same effect as you did down here. You're just doing single crochets and picots on the third crochet. And I'm doing 2-chain picots. You can do 3-chain picots. This is completely customizable to you. It's a little bit of gingerbread under the eaves, giving a little extra interest. And you can do that all the way up. You could just do it at the bottom here and maybe at the top, like around the first one. You could do it around the top edge here if you want to. And let's go ahead and finish up this top edge. We'll do that next. But yeah, you can keep decorating this as much as you like. It's meant to be very fancy, kind of gingerbready, architectural, Victorian, Edwardian style. So it is completely customizable. You can not do any of the white lace edging that I've done here and just do this part, which is, you know, kind of plain but still has an interest. Or you can add the lace bits that make this tip over from Edwardian into Victorian. But it's up to you. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to close up the neck. Okay, so I'm going to be going backwards so that I don't catch the point and go through the yarn. I want to make sure I don't do that. So anyway, here is the neck. This is the inside, which is actually the front side of the work of the Tunisian work. Let's go down through the top and just hit that first bar. And then come through here, and we get these two. And then come through here, and we're closing the gap right there. See, these two are already closed. So close these two. Close these two, this one and this one. Get through that one. One side's a little easier to do than the other. You see how wide apart these two are. Go down there. There's the last one on this side. And now you need to just hide it, or you could like tie a little knot by just going around it a couple times like that. And then you want to hide it. Remember, this is up against your neck. So, and I do like how thick the Tunisian is, so it's very easy to hide. Just go up and down if you want. You only need to hide it in like 3 stitches. There we go. And that's enough. And that's the inside. So that looks pretty good for the inside. This is your front. pretty good. So I'm actually thinking about changing the color that I used here to something else. So I will show you the finished product at the end, because we are effectively done. If you want to add those rows of single crochets and picots to your edging, you can do that. I'm going to play around with it and see what kind of contrast colors that I feel comfortable with, because this is already a very super feminine look, and I just don't want to look like I'm wearing a cupcake. So some other people may like that. You know, it's really up to your taste. So I will meet you back when I'm happy with this. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you for watching Crochet Your Way today. It's the only time that we have. Take care, and I'll see you next time.